Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Todd Keirstead, and you are watching TK Talks, stories of inspiration both on and off the golf course. I have with me today a very special lady. Her name is Sarah Larson. Sarah, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Doing great, thank you. So tell us a little bit about growing up. What was your life like?
Oh gosh, a lot of ups and downs. The thing that I really want to point out is my parents never treated me any different for me having the lack of my left arm. So I think for all the years growing up until I was about 7 years old, I really didn't think I was anything different than anyone else. I played basketball, I played softball with my brothers, so I continued to live that normal life, and I didn't think anything different of myself, I think, until closer to those adolescent ages. So like 7th and 8th grade is really when I noticed trying to cover up my arm more, or trying to hide things, or maybe not participating in those sports because everyone would point at me indicating I was the one-handed girl. So it was transitional. I had a lot of ups and downs, but I think having such good support from my family, encouraging me to continue to move forward, really helped shape who I am today.
That is amazing. Now that was through a childhood birth.
It was.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that. How did that come about?
Sure. I was what they call an amniotic banding syndrome baby. So when you are a small embryo in your mama's belly, you have these little fibrous tissues. And as I was growing, one of those tissues wrapped around my left arm, and that stopped it from growing. I actually had a couple little digits that had fingernails on that I removed cosmetically probably about 8, 9 years ago. And I had no idea what happened until I went to see a cosmetic doctor to say, hey, can I get this removed? I just don't like how it looks. It kind of bothers me. And he said, oh, you're a classic amniotic band syndrome baby. And I said, I was born in the 70s. So back in those days, no one did ultrasounds. And you had really no idea how your baby was going to come out until it came out. I also, unfortunately, had a really large skin tag on my back. And my parents thought, what could this be? It had a big tuft of hair on it. And they said, well, maybe it's just a large skin tag. So as I got older, I was self-conscious about that, making sure all my bathing suits would cover it because it was probably a good 3/4 of an inch, that would protruded off my body. And I wanted to get it removed. And I remember sitting in the doctor's office and I said, can we remove this? I said, but my mom promised me I should get an MRI before you start cutting things off. It happened to find out that I actually had spina bifida occulta, which is a condition of your spinal cord. So if you were to think about a rubber band and you cut off that rubber band and you pull it, that's what was happening to my spinal cord. It was stretching and stretching and stretching. And then at the end, it was actually frayed like hair. So I had surgery, that would have been age probably 20. And I spent a good 2 weeks in the hospital recovering from back surgery. I'm just very lucky that nothing happened, that I can still walk and I'm still able to move around. So I'm very grateful each and every day.
Now you have a family now. When did you get married?
We got married in 2008.
Okay, and kids?
Yes, we have one little Spitfire little boy named Riker. He is going to be 5 in July.
Now, how is that with, if you don't mind me asking, with being a brand new mom, with one arm? How is that with your daily chores, daily care of your child?
Great question. I'm a planner. I try and forward think to things, and I wanted to make sure that I could really care for my little one the best that I can. I had doubts in my mind as to how can I change a diaper. I mean, you have to lift up their legs and you have to do things with 2 hands that I actually went out and got a prosthetic just in case. So I'm one that never wanted to wear one. It always got in the way. It was heavy. It wasn't me. It was foreign. But I got it because I wanted to make sure, in case if I could not do it with my one hand and my little arm, that I'd have a backup. Well, the hospital would not let me leave until I changed his diaper. And they wanted to make sure that I could care for him, myself, in case if my husband was gone for the day working. And it took me a couple tries. I will be honest with you, my face was right down there. I used my left arm as a prop to push his legs up, and then I would use my right arm, of course, to do any of the cleaning and changing. And after a while of trying it a few different ways, I became a natural, and it worked out really well. I mean, I worried and I struggled, but at the same point, I never gave up. I just kept moving on because I had to.
So everything that we take kind of for granted in society, you know, you made it your normal. You
I
just
did.
moved on right from, like, you owned it.
Mhm.
So you were involved in sports growing up. You know, you grew up on playing a lot of sports. Your husband was a golfer. Is that how you got into the game of golf?
Yes, I was that classic wife on the cart. I would get him a beer, I'd take his clubs, I'd get him a new ball if he needed one. And I just sat out there, and it was nice to see nature, but it kind of sucked at the same point because I wanted to have the opportunity to go out there. But knowing on how much finesse and accuracy you need to have to hit the ball with two hands, how the heck am I going to hit it with one? So my husband encouraged me to give it a try, and I really didn't want to. I thought to myself, gosh, this is going to be hard. Can I even do it? Finally, I sucked up my own attitude and I said, all right, let's try it. And of course, how many times I swung and I missed, and I get upset with myself. But then I had an attitude check on myself to say, you know what, Sarah? Some people with two hands cannot play golf. You got to give yourself a little bit more credit doing one-handed. So I took a few deep breaths, relaxed a little bit more, and I started making good contact with it and like getting a little bit more consistent than when I first started off. So from there, it was history. I am now in ladies golf leagues. I enjoy the game of golf. I challenge myself every year, and it's something that it'll always be a part of my life.
You know what? That's incredible. So you took the times that you had with your husband and just being, let's say, a caddy, really, because that's
Yeah.
what you were. You were his caddy, and then he got you into the game of golf, and now the game means even more to the both of you because now you're enjoying it. You're not sitting off in the background. You're a part of it. You're hitting those shots, and now you're growing into playing leagues. You're playing in tournaments. You're quite the success story.
Thank you.
So now, what is in store for you for the future in golf?
Oh, well, I'm so honored to be a part of the Phoenix Cup team. So I will be traveling over to the UK this September I'm really lucky to be the only female on the team. And I'm practicing already. Don't tell anyone. I'm sneaking on a course nearby, but I want to make sure my game is at its best. And I'm learning about my game each and every time I go out there. I have a whole different perspective on my game. Before, I tried to make sure that I got certain scores and made sure I didn't get over a double bogey. And I'm taking a more relaxed approach where I'm letting the club do the work. I'm letting my body use the gravity. And even just in the couple times out this year, I'm not skipping a beat. Where other years I'd start off because in Wisconsin, we have so many months we can't. So I don't swing a club for many months. Starting over is rough. Now, I feel like I just left October and I'm picking it right back up again.
We're going to share this thing because what you just said about golf and letting it happen, letting gravity, if we all took that and applied it to our own golf games, we'd be so much better. Now, I know that you're going to be in good hands. I know some of your teammates that are going to be there with Team USA, and they're going to take really good care of you, and you're going to do the same for them. It's going to be quite the incredible experience for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what TK Talks is all about, sharing stories of inspiration both on and off the golf course. Sarah, it was an absolute pleasure talking with you today, and I look forward to watching your journey.
Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful day.
You as well.